Hello, this is April with Craft Knife Chronicles, and I'm here to share a new project with you. I call it the Seashore Lighthouse. Now, if you live on the east coast of the United States or you've traveled there, this lighthouse may look a little familiar to you because it's modeled on several that are off the east coast of the United States. Now, the reason I call this the Seashore Lighthouse is because I made it from a Prima paper collection called Seashore, which I thought was very appropriate for this theme. The project stands pretty tall. It's about 20 inches from the base to the top of the light, and it's about 12 inches by 13 inches on the base. The reason for the height is that in the foundation there's room for a mini album. The project can also be built without having the foundation and just stand on the what looks like the rim underneath the fence. The project is almost entirely made out of chipboard and the pattern paper. There are a few other elements that I will discuss when we take a closer look at the project. So now I've put the project up on a little spinner and we can take a 360-degree view and see all of the sides. So we'll start here on the front of the lighthouse where we can see down at sea level there's some rocks that are surrounding the base of the foundation, and there's a little landing and a ladder that takes you up to the main level where the lighthouse is. The lighthouse itself, the structure, is 2 stories tall with 2 chimneys that you can see on either side. And then I think you can see behind that structure the tower with the light on top. Now that tower is 3 stories plus the light. And now let's take a little turn here. Getting a good view of how these components are coming together. The entrance structure stands proud of the main structure, and you can see the chimney there with its small roof. And now the light tower is coming into view. I think you can see here how the light tower starts out as a square, and then up just above the 2nd story the corners get cut off and it becomes an octagon, so that by the time we get up to the deck of the lighthouse, of the light and the light structure itself, that is all based on an octagon. And the windows on the 3rd story of the tower there, I think you can see, are arched windows. And as we come around to this side, you'll see that the building is symmetrical, that this side mirrors the side we saw first as we were taking our tour. And now here we are back at the front. So let's zoom in and take a closer look at some of these features, and I'll explain how I made them. So let's start at the base of the structure and look at the foundation, starting with the rocks that protect the lighthouse from the ocean's waves. Now those rocks are actually little acrylic cubes that I painted with some chalk paint. I wanted to do that and use those to decrease the weight of the project. Also, on the front there's a little landing, and from the landing there's a ladder that goes up to the main level. The ladder is made from chipboard on the sides, and then little pieces of 1/8 inch dowel form the rungs. The ladder is actually only attached with a magnet at the top because when the top deck comes off to get to the mini album, the ladder needs to come off as well. I think you can see the slanted sides of the foundation. It's actually an octagon shaped base, and I took the pattern paper and ran it with a stone embossing folder to give the look of stones to make up the foundation walls. At the top of the foundation, you can see a piece that kind of sticks out. That's the rim, and it also forms the base of the part that comes off. Now we've moved up to the main level where the structure of the lighthouse is. You can see there's a fence or railing that surrounds the lighthouse. I made this with a Spellbinder Shapeabilities die called wrought iron die. I doubled up cardstock because it will only cut cardstock just to give it some sturdiness. And I used this same die you'll see in a few minutes on the deck that surrounds the light. There's little steps that go up to the front door and a little awning over the front door. All of the windows are simply cut in the facade, and they're trimmed with cream colored cardstock and have a little ledge underneath. And at the top of the entrance you can see there's a small roof, and I think you can see the side roofs that are similar peeking out on each side. Here you can also see that on the paper that I used on the roof, I used my scoreboard to score some lines and add some ink to give it a look of a metal roof. Here with this side view, I think you get a good idea of how the structure comes together. There's the main part with the peak that we see a side view of here, and then both the entrance section to the left and the tower to the right start off as square structures. Now the entrance stays square, but the tower becomes octagonal, as we'll see in a minute. So those two structures just kind of fit in to the front and the back of the main structure. Now we'll start out with this view of the tower so you can see the 3 stories. And here I think you get a good idea of that octagonal structure that begins above the 2nd story. And then also the 3rd story windows have an arched top to them. So now let's move up and look at the light. And now we've come up to the top to see a close-up view of the light. Now, the first thing you can notice is the fence or railing that's surrounding the light structure. And as I said before, it's made from that same die that we used around the base of the structure. And then behind the railing is the structure that holds the light, and it is made up of chipboard and then also acrylic panels, thin acrylic panels like you would find in packaging plastic that allow the light from the light to show through. It's sturdy enough so that it can hold up the remaining part of the structure and the roof. Now the light itself its purpose is to illuminate a wine bottle to make kind of a little lamp in your house, and it has a cork on the bottom end, and I just wanted something that would shine on and not flicker like a tea light would. However, you could make this project with a tea light if that's all you had access to. Now to gain access and turn the light on and off, and it is on right now. It's a little hard to see in this lighting, but pardon my reach. The roof comes off, and then that light can come out. Now this light, you can see, and one of the nice things about it, where I'm holding it, there's a little USB charger. It's a rechargeable light. And then to access the mini album, I've already removed the ladder in the front, as you can see. And normally I would pick this up with two hands, but I'm going to try to remain out of frame as much as possible. So I'll just reach in here with one hand. And now the mini album is down inside of the base. I hope you've enjoyed this tour of the project. It was a lot of fun to design and create. And stay tuned at the end of this video for more close-up photos of all the features. Also, there's a separate video for the mini album that is housed in the foundation of the lighthouse. This is April with Craft Knife Chronicles. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.